In Go, interfaces are a very handy tool in your tool chain. It allows you to run methods, and you can have collection of methods rather in order to run them. The best part is though with interfaces, it allows you to run these with just some generic code, and you can run them repeatedly. Let's go ahead and get in the explanation. So in this example today, obviously I'm not typing this out because it's kind of a bigger program, but to get the idea, let's walk through this together. First, we defined our interface here in line 8. We're making a geometry interface. We're creating two objects here, an area and a perimeter. Both of these are going to be float 64s. With that, we then create a struct with what we want to create, which is a width and height of float 64. And then this struct is a circle, and we're creating a radius. Again, float 64. What we then can do is we can build, define our types. We can create functions with these, or we get the width, height, etc. Use pi with the radius, etc., etc. And then finally, we tie it all together with the main function where we have geometry, our interface up here, and then we print each area. So first is the G variable that we're printing. The rest is we call by using the dot notation, and where we're calling the area and the perimeter as we have set here. We then can combine this in our main function where we say, okay, we want our rect, width, and height on our circle, and we define what our width, height, and radius is here, and then our measure function prints that out for us. So if we were to run this code, what we get here is the results of it, 3, 4 for our width and height and our radius, things like that. It's a good explanation. It's a powerful one if you understand programming. But if you're learning, this isn't the best example. So there's actually a fantastic blog post that is in the bottom of the Go by example page that brings you into this script here. And I even simplified it even more. So let's walk through this one together that I created. So first we define our type interface, which is animal, and we're saying the animal just speaks. We're just doing one item on this. Then we define our struct, then we create a function. Remember, methods are nothing more than really functions, and we're combining these different things. We're combining structs, which we've talked about before. We're taking functions, which we've talked about before, and then return values, which again, we've talked about before in our examples. But this just makes it simple. Here's our bit of code that we want to define, which is our interface. And then as we create these methods together, it allows us to pull this interface here, because the interface doesn't care what you give it. It'll just provide whatever's given, as we do here. It ties all this together. So when you call the dog, it returns woof. Cat is going to be meow. And just like here, we define the animals variable, and we call the dog and the cat structs here, and then we do a for loop where we do a range on the animals, and then we print line animal, again, dot notation for speak. So we're calling our interface here, and then the speak is defined for each of these in the functions themselves. And that's how it all ties together. So when we run this, we get woof and meow for the dog and for the cat. So just keep in mind, and I wrote this down up here so you can see that Go allows you to define a set of method signatures. And again, methods are just functions really that any type can implement. The type being our interface type, our type dog struct, our type cat struct, providing a flexible and powerful way to write generic code. Now that line I stole from another blog post I found talking about ways that you can use interfaces. Here it is, Understanding the Power of Go Interfaces, a comprehensive guide. I'm going to link that also down in the description. Check out both. Understanding these interfaces, I feel, is pretty important to unlocking some nice built-in features that Golang has. All right, so that's it for interfaces. We'll see you in the next video where we talk about struct embedding.